Oh, there it is. All righty. Welcome to PS with Phoebe and Stephanie.
I'm Phoebe.
And I'm Stephanie. And tonight, we're going to talk about, we're going to start off by talking about some football. Okay, so I apologize because I did brag on my Texans. My boyfriend is a fan of Cincinnati, and they played Cincinnati today. And we lost. The Texans lost, so I apologize for the Texans. We'll do better next time.
Well, I don't know if you know about the roster, about how many games are left, but y'all better hurry up. I'm talking like I can talk like that, but we lost today.
It's like being a hopeless romantic, like I know they're gonna win. I know they're gonna win. They've lost so many other games, but I know they're gonna win. So keeping hope alive, as they call it.
Well,
keep hope alive.
The Falcons played the Steelers. My husband is still a fan, I guess. I don't know. But he loves to brag about we're house divided. He says that we lost. I didn't get a chance to see the game, but I know he's happy that the Steelers won. So,
and actually, it's Cleveland, not Cincinnati. I said Cincinnati, didn't I? I meant Cleveland.
Okay.
Whatever the Browns are from, I don't know. They just got a brown uniform.
Cleveland Browns.
It's Cleveland.
Yeah.
But we
Cincinnati are the Bengals.
So, okay.
Yeah, Cincinnati are the Bengals.
Oh, okay. See, I learned something new.
Can we turn the music down a little bit?
Let's see. Okay. Now, that's better?
Yes. Okay. Much better.
All right. It was sticking before and I couldn't do it. So I was like, we're going to have to just scream because I can't do it. So, this live, we're rolling. So is there any more other sports news?
Okay. So, yes. I'm wearing number 21 tonight. Deion Sanders, prime time. He has accepted the position in Colorado. So he and his son, Shador, they're going. And the rest of his kids as well. I know one of them, I think the cornerback, he's graduating, but they're going to Colorado. And
wow.
Yes. So I'm a Deion Sanders fan. I love Deion Sanders. I love his motivation. I love his enthusiasm, his willpower to make things happen. I love it. I love all of it. And I've always been a primetime fan, even before Must Be the Money. So one of my favorite things that he used to always say is that when people say, Prime, don't let the money change you, and he'll say, no, you don't let the money change you, but for me, it's going to change my address. It's going to change my zip code. It's going to change everything. So, there are positive things that we can do when we,
level up,
do a little better, So, I love Prime.
Yeah, and me too. I really liked him when he was in Dallas. I remember he even had a menswear store in one of the malls in Dallas.
Okay.
He can dress.
He can.
Prime time to dress. He had all the suits and everything in there. So, he's known for many things. But, one of the things I can really say about him recently, he's just been a great motivator for so many people.
He has.
Even when he had that surgery. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Even when he had that surgery and he was not able to walk.
He lost a few toes.
Yeah, a few months ago. Well, I guess it's probably been a year now, maybe. But he did, and he was so motivational through all of that. So that's always great to see people who go through things that can still be motivational and strong for others.
Exactly.
So that is awesome. That is pretty awesome.
So we congratulate you, Prime.
Yes.
And I hope Colorado embraces him, with open arms, and
definitely
we can see what he does. Take that team that what they 1-11 or 0-11, something like that. But he's ready to go to work. He has his team with him, so
good deal.
They're ready to make it happen.
Good deal. Good deal.
Yes.
Good deal. Yeah. There was a lot in the news this week. So that's one of the good things. One of the sadder things this week in the news is the young man that shot his mother over a VR headset. And it's very sad. Rest in peace to that mom. You know, she was a single mom. And yeah, I was a single mom. So, right. You know, we struggle sometimes. And kids don't sometimes understand that. And I think another thing is kids don't understand really what guns do, especially at that age. You know, I don't know if I've ever told you this before. When I was 11 or 12, I had a best friend. I would go to her house every day. We played. We were kids, real kids. And I decided not to go to her house one day. And later on that day, in the news, her brother had shot her in the back of her head.
Oh my goodness!
Her 5-year-old brother. Remember, we were 11, 12. We were babysitting him all the time when her parents weren't there.
Right.
And yeah, he had locked her out of the house. She was sitting on the steps. I can remember the story like it was yesterday. And he came behind her as she was sitting on the steps and shot her in the back of the head. He's 5. You know, how did he?
Did he think he was playing, or
I don't know. You know, it's. And that's what I, you know, in comparison to this story, I don't think kids really realize that it's over.
Right.
That person's gone. You know, forever. Yeah.
The lives are destroyed.
Right. So, you know, with my friend, as I grew, I would always wonder, man, if she had been here, what would she be doing at this age and this age and this age? She only made it to 11 or 12. And then think about the brother, 5 years old. I'm not sure, you know, at that point, you know, I was young too, so I don't know what they did with him. I know this particular child in this story, they're trying him as an adult.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are. I saw that.
Yeah.
And I don't even think he understands like the impact of what he's done.
Right.
And I read that it also stated that he had a few behavioral problems, like yeah. Well, you know, they're gonna put that in there. You know, out of anything, they're gonna put that in there. But it's just like gun control needs to become a thing, right?
And in our homes, if we decide as parents or siblings or daughters or whatever, there's someone else in the home, even if someone breaks in, we need to have those firearms in a safe place.
Right.
No one should be able to just easily go get your firearm. Everybody in the house should not know where it is.
Right.
Just go and get it. Unless it's a protection measure. You trust everybody in your house.
Right.
Sure. But I mean, we really have to exercise some control to where we really secure those firearms from children.
Right.
There have been so many stories. So, I feel sorry for that young man because he's really in the system now. Both ways, in the justice system, and he has no mom. And I'm sorry for that mom because I think she was washing clothes or something, and she didn't even get a chance to probably react to that. So that's a very, very sad story. So my condolences, go out to
my condolences as well.
Go out to her family. So that's a very, very sad story. But on another note, as we roll through our topics today, I know I sent you a list of podcasts.
Yes,
because I think the new thing now is music is great. Sometimes I get stuck on the same music. You got some favorites, right? What are your favorites?
I have. Well, this is funny, but I don't really listen to anything too much over like 2010.
Right.
And that might be bad.
Right.
But I know I do, listen to new music from time to time, especially when I go out places and things of that nature. But my mix when I get inside the car and I play my music. I play everything from the early 2000s and before. And it's funny that all the kids that get in the car with me, they know all the songs as well. And that used to be me when I was younger. Because people always ask, like, how do you know all this old music? And I was like, I was forced to listen to it. I know any old song that you think about playing, I know it. I've heard it. I know it lyric for lyric, verse by verse. I know everything. But that's kind of bad because a lot of the new artists, I may be missing out on a whole lot, you know. And when they tell me about, you know, have you heard the new Summer Walker? And, you know, they start naming names. And I'm like, no. Yes, this is Primetime Jersey. The one and only Deion Sanders. Salute to Primetime. As long as they know we will not be wearing any Steelers paraphernalia around this place at all.
As long as they know.
Exactly. So you can take the Steelers and everybody that play with. I don't even think he know the players on the Steelers team. He's messing with me.
He's just a fan.
He's just a fan. Exactly. He doesn't know who he's talking about. But so yeah, I love older music, and I never thought I would be playing one of my dad's favorite songs was I Wish He Didn't Trust Me So Much. By Bobby Womack.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Come to think of it, he wrote that song. It's a true story, but I love that song. And when my husband and I we first got married, I used to play that song, and he'd be like, "What are you listening to?"
Right.
And like, "What are you trying to say?" I was like, "This is my daddy's song," you know. I'm just used to it. He said, just imagine a 10-year-old or 11-year-old kid walking around singing, I Wish He Didn't Trust Me So Much.
Oh, yeah. You know, I tell my boyfriend, you know, you better listen to the songs I'm playing because that's really how I'm feeling.
Oh my goodness. So that's an ulterior motive that you have going on. You just
that's what's in my head, that's what's going on. But I'm kind of the same way, you know, stuck on basically Jagged Edge and Joe, those kind of artists. So,
well, you know, back in the day, you know, every producer was hot at a, you know, at a different time. Everybody was hot, but when Jermaine Dupri was hot,
right,
I loved all his remixes because he was like the king of remixes.
Right,
for me. He and Puffy, but Jermaine Dupri made it like Dru Hill. I'm not a big Dru Hill fan, but when he came out to, he made a remix to Somebody Sleeping in My Bed. I don't care anything about the lyrics, but that beat is so hard to me.
Right.
That was my favorite song. And people will always say, "Girl, what's going on?" I'm like, "You don't hear this song? I love this song." You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do, girl, bump all that, somebody see. I'm talking about the beat. I love, oh my gosh, everything Jermaine Dupri was making at one time. I was his number one fan. I was buying all this music. So, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, music, we love our music. Especially we love to ride to our music. But one thing I've really started to do, I don't know if it's because I'm older or what it is, but I started to listen to podcasts a lot.
Okay, yes, me too.
As I drive, and especially long distances. So the list that I found you was a list of some great podcasts to listen to.
Okay.
I'm trying to pull up the list now. One of those, I actually sat down and I listened to it today. It is called I think it's called Millennial Marriage or something like that.
Okay.
Is that what it's called? So I can name them. Oh, it's called Black Millennial Marriage.
Okay.
So it was a really good podcast. They're talking about marriage and relationships and how to get along. And they gave some really good tips. So that's one of the podcasts that I suggested. Did you have a chance to listen to any of these?
I started listening to one of them. I can't tell you. I was only into like a minute, and I think it was the first one. Which one is that one?
The first one I think was it The Read with Kid Fury and Chriselle?
I don't know, but it was only a minute, and when they first came out, they were like very, very how should I say? They were excited, I guess. So,
full of energy.
Yeah, full of energy. So I'm gonna say excited. So yeah.
So that's one. I think that that one is one that's kind of to the culture as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a good one. Another that I liked is Therapy for Black Girls.
Oh,
did you see that
one? What? I think I follow that group on Facebook.
Yeah.
Is it that?
Yeah. I can't think of her name. I can think of her name, but she talks about therapy for Black girls because our therapy may be a little different because our circumstances are a little different than the run-of-the-mill issues.
Right.
So it kind of focuses on things that we go through. I've listened to her before, and it's been really good. And I suggested it to different people because sometimes we don't want to go out to a therapist. We just want to sneak and listen to somebody and make us feel better and fix our stuff on our own.
Exactly.
So that was a really good podcast that I like. Therapy for Black Girls. What was another one? Earn Your Leisure. Have you ever listened to Earn Your Leisure?
No.
Earn Your Leisure is another podcast. They recently did a summit here in Atlanta. Okay. And they always talk about gating your finances, basically earning your leisure, earning your leisure time, getting your money right to where you can just sit back and have leisure time and let the money come to you. Okay. They recently had a conference. It had Steve Harvey, it had Tyler Perry, and lots of other guests. But their podcast, my nephew, shout out to my nephew, Doc Dude, told me about them a while back. So I've been following them, and they have the greatest guests to tell you about all different types of industries, how to get into different industries, and how to earn money.
Okay.
Become that entrepreneur. So that's a wonderful podcast, which is Earn Your Leisure.
Okay.
So that was one.
That sounds exciting and refreshing.
Yes. I mean, yeah, I really like Earn Your Leisure. Beyond that, okay. So you know about 85 South, right?
Yes.
Yes. So 85 South is another one. If you just want a good laugh, 85 South is another podcast.
Okay.
And that's just my list of podcasts. Do you have any that you listen to or that you've heard about? Oh, I got two more.
Okay, go ahead.
I got two more. The Mama's Den, which was great when I stumbled upon it because I know you and I are both mothers and grandmothers.
Right.
We sometimes need to get in a den, like a den of what's it called? Lionesses. What's it called? Yeah, whatever they're called. And with our cubs on the other side, and all get together and just talk out our different issues. Because sometimes we think, as women and as mothers, that we are isolated and we're just going through those things. But then when you get in a group of other women or other mothers or grandmothers, you can realize, oh, okay, I'm not the only one. And then you can feed off of each other, kind of like we do sometimes.
Right.
And see, how we can solve a problem in a different manner.
Well, I have my own group right now.
Oh, do you?
You might not know you're in the group, but I have my own group right now.
Because you have to.
Yeah, exactly.
And really, I think women need that. We need to get back to that community of being women and showing each other love and help and assistance. When I was raising my daughters, I remember I had friends that would help, or people that would. We just had a community, and it's different than now. Nowadays, can't trust everybody. Can't trust everybody to go on trips together. So you can't trust people nowadays.
That is the scariest thing now, to think you're going on a trip with friends or loved ones and they actually are your enemies. That is like
that situation was horrible.
Yes. And speaking of that, the young lady Shaquilla, I've heard they made an arrest.
Right.
The FBI took over her case, and the FBI has made an arrest. And I feel for the family, because at least they're about to embark on, receiving justice, or at least, because they were going unaccountable for their actions in regards to that. If you're bad enough to take a life, then you need to explain why.
Right.
And,
yeah. You need to explain why. You need to be accountable for it.
Exactly.
You really need to be held accountable for it,
Stand up and say what happened and what transpired. That's one of the things I have. To me, I try my best not to judge anyone, but it's kind of crazy when people, they have all of these opinions, they have all of this insight, things that they say or whatever. But when you talk to them about it, like, no matter who it is, if you try to say, well, I'm not being confrontational, but I want to get an understanding so that, you and I have a better relationship, they'll deny it. And, I have what are you talking about? I would never do that. When people do that, I don't even respond. I just say, okay, because you have a lot more going on, and I'm going to leave that right where it is.
Right.
Because, when you're amongst other people, they can't stop you from talking. But when somebody say, okay, now what really is the issue? Because people will straight up have problems with you, and you have no idea why.
That is true.
It's a whole beef going on that I have nothing.
Right.
I know nothing about it. I'm like, they'll be like, oh, your name is in this. I'm like, I think I really understand what the definition of a group or a fan is, because I don't even think about you. I mean, not at all. You're not even, not to be conceited or dismissive or anything of that nature, but I don't think of anybody like in a negative light. And if I had any feelings that were or that are not of a positive nature, I'm woman enough to speak to you about it. And, I'm talking to you so that we can get an understanding. I'm not trying to argue or be combative or anything of that nature.
Right.
But I'm thankful that I don't have too much of that. But,
oh, Lord, no.
Right. In the past, I mean, I have said what I needed to say. Like, if you speak to someone and try to resolve an issue in the workplace, the first thing they say, well, you're confrontational. So, not to say that this has happened to me, but my thing is that, so what would you rather these people do? You rather keep up this workplace gossip, or would you, like to get this? So I'm thankful I don't have that situation, because I mean,
I had to learn. I read something in the book one time that said people aren't really, they don't really hate you.
Right.
Your light makes them uncomfortable.
Oh, most definitely.
And that's what it is. Sometimes your potential makes people uncomfortable. Because I used to be like, well, this person hates me and I don't even know why. But they told me your potential, what they see in you, what they see you doing. And I see that in a lot of women, that someone will not like someone, but it's their potential that shines through. So I can say one thing to that, ladies. If people are hating you for no reason, men, whoever, live up to your potential, because there's something that they're hating about you that is immaculate. There's something that is just shining around you that you need to bring out.
Keep thriving.
Yeah, keep thriving.
Pushing.
Yep.
Because
and show the miserable people.
Don't let dim your light. I firmly believe that. I don't think I need to dim my light just for you to shine, or for you to feel better about yourself. Like, I mean, whatever it is that I feel like I want to do or I want to pursue, I'm going to do that. I don't care who agrees with it, or I've seen people there laugh and make jokes. Oh, you remember this? You're not doing anything but hating on me.
Right.
So that means either you're uncomfortable or you really are miserable. So
and
whichever one category you want to fall into.
Right. And sometimes, some people don't know how to get out of that miserable position.
Exactly.
So we have to be a light to show them, hey, there is a way to get out of that misery.
Right.
Instead of me concentrating on, okay, you're miserable. I'm not gonna feed that to you. I'm gonna shine brighter so you can understand things can change. It only takes one day to change your whole life.
Exactly.
Make a decision, and one thing can change your whole life.
Right.
I think that's what people need to learn. What was my last one? I think is my last one. Mother's Den. I think that was the only. Oh, there was one for men called Man to Man.
Okay.
Yeah. It was Man to Man, a Black Love Wellness series for men.
That
So,
sounds
for all the men out there, check that out,
productive.
Man to Man, a Black Love Wellness series.
Your sound went out.
I don't know what just happened. So,
You're back.
we have to embrace our men,
Stephanie,
to love
you're
them and help
back.
them be strong, and to help be the heads of our families and our households. So that's so those are my oh, I'm sorry. One more. One more. But
If
it's
you
great.
one more me, one more time.
One more. But it was called oh man. It's now this is actually my favorite. And it's called Major Frequency.
Okay.
Major Frequency is a great one, but just because everything on the earth moves in frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Everything does at certain frequencies. And there are certain frequencies, once you start to learn about them, that can help you feel better. It can help you be in a better mood once you listen to them. And so the last what did I say they were? Podcast. He has a short album called Major Frequency.
Okay.
And those frequencies will help you feel better. They'll help you just be in a better headspace because of the actual frequency, like 420, 423. Mm-hmm. Those frequencies will, once you have to learn about those, and he talks about those. So I'm not going to be a spoiler and tell you about the whole thing. Okay. But frequencies are important. Frequencies are important. Everything has a frequency. Okay. I'll just put that little tidbit out there.
Well, you know what? I'm not gonna say I'm gonna check them all out tomorrow, but I'll try to check out one a day.
Yeah, I mean,
and then I'll pick which one I like it amongst some more that I may be, checking out, because one of the things I love to read, but because I have a busy schedule, I listen to a lot of audiobooks. Right. And I know a lot of people say that's cheating, but nope, it's the same thing. If somebody read it to me, what's the difference? Right. Other if I'm reading it out, my comprehension level is still going to be there. So, I'm a podcast fan. I like that. The podcast that I listen to may not be as therapeutic as yours, because if you know me, one of my favorite things, if not my favorite thing to do, is laugh. Mm-hmm. So I'm listening to stuff like Kevin Hart and Earthquake. Okay. And, things of that nature. I don't need a lot of uplifting, because, I just determined a long time ago, I made a decision, to make the best out of everything. Right. And that is I like it. Yeah. Yeah. So, and then what I started doing is I started manifesting it into my own life, So if there is something I want to do, I do it. If it's something I want to experience, I experience it. And a lot of people, when they think they know you or whatever, it's a lot of things that I do that you would never know, because I don't post everything on social media. I stopped doing that a long time ago. So when people are like, oh, you got to try this. We did this. And I said I did that 2 years ago. And they'd be like, but I didn't know. I didn't know I had to check in with you. My bad. I'm sorry. But yes, you're not the first one to do it or go
I'm
there.
living life for real, not for the gram.
Yeah. So, but when I that was the thing, when I stopped posting so much, on social media, I did get a lot more peace because people start asking questions and why, So I just started, living my best life. And if I want to do a whole bunch of nothing or a little bit of everything, I do it. I just,
right.
It's not that I'm secretive or anything like that. I just,
That's truly life. Do what you want to do, the way you want to do it, as long as you want to do it.
Exactly.
That's truly life. Sometimes we worry about a lot of money. We worry about things that just don't matter. But that freedom in life is like the greatest thing ever.
Right.
That's what I've discovered,
exactly.
as a grown woman. I've discovered that freedom is
right.
the best thing.
Right. And that's one of the things we can call each other and be like, hey, this, you want to do this? Okay. Or if
right.
not, no, we'll, catch up in 2 or 3 days. But we have the option to do whatever it is we want to do.
Right.
If we want to say we want to go to New York, we can go. Let's make plans. And one of the most beautiful things that I like about my life is I have some people that are so good to me. They're always inviting me places to go do things, to have these different experiences. And I love that because it was a period of time where I wasn't doing anything and I wasn't going, any places the places that I was invited. And I'm just thankful that people never stopped inviting me because,
right.
I probably would have been one of those like, wait a minute, you mean to tell me y'all had this and you didn't invite me? Like I have a whole attitude and be dead wrong at the same time. So
I had to laugh because I know people have stopped inviting me. I'm like, I'm gonna go, and then I'm like, oh, I gotta work, or I gotta do something.
Right.
Better, y'all. So start inviting me places again.
Right. Remember Stephanie?
she ain't coming. My sister used to always say, "You're not coming." I said, "I'm gonna come." Then something would happen. I can't come.
Now you know what? I believe it or not. That was my life for a minute. Every time I would plan to do something would come up. This would come up. That would come up. And I'd be like, I promise you I'm not. I promise you I'm not just making things up. I literally, have another function I need to take care of, an activity I need to do, or I'm not just doing this not to do it. I'm not just canceling to cancel. And then people go like,
So now what we got to do is we got to start holding events, start inviting all those people that.
And they're not gonna listen.
That we let down before. We got to make up for it.
When they say Phoebe and Stephanie together, oh, we definitely not coming to that because they're not gonna come to their own thing. And it used to be like me and my family. They'd be like, if I'm coming. Like my husband, I know he'll tell a lie and say it's an hour later or an hour before just to make sure I'm on time. So, we're gonna be perfectly fine. I think he found that out. Like, I'm just gonna be, fabulously late.
Right.
Like, no, because he's a type of person, he loves to be on time. And I'm like, we don't have to be on time for it. Sometimes it's cool to be like 15, 20, 30 minutes late. But not if they have things planned, it's not. So
now, and when you get a little bit older, you want to be on time because you want to go home early. That's what I've discovered.
And you know what though?
I get sleepy early.
I do too. But another thing too is that what's about to happen to me? What's about to happen? I go to bed at 7:30, 8 o'clock. I get up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. What's next? Going to the early bird special? Going to dinner at 4 o'clock? They're waiting on me. So I'm like, wait a minute, how old am I? Let me
Right.
So
that's it.
This is the funniest thing. My husband loves to book all these events and stuff, and he shows up to the event and he's all just gung ho about it. I sit there and watch him, and then about 11:30, 12 o'clock, he's powering down, and then about 1 o'clock he's looking around like, it's time to go. And I'm like, oh, you ready to go home?
Yeah.
I used to be like, oh my gosh, it's 3 o'clock, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, let's go home. Please.
It's called the grown person internal clock.
Right.
You gotta get to bed.
Right.
Stuff like that.
Well, now I said a part of my new lifestyle when I get up early, and I'm gonna start making him get up early with me because supposedly it's his idea. But every day when I say, okay, it's time to get up, let's go work out. Oh, baby, I just need one more hour. And I'm like, if I keep fooling, be fat forever. And he got me on this side of being fat. I'm gonna leave him over there by himself. I'm sick of it.
Leave him over there if he don't want to participate.
I'm gonna leave him by himself because I tried the fat thing. It's all being fluffy. That's just not for me though. I don't like it's not my lifestyle. So I got to get back to
Yes.
I used to work out all the time.
Totally
so
understand.
I gotta get back. Yeah, I got to get back, and I'm going in strong. I have OCD really badly, so if I do something, I just can't do it. I have to do it and be the best. And he was like, "Oh, Phoebe, look, you slimming down." Girl, I saw those pictures of those previous podcasts.
I wasn't going to talk about it,
me, baby.
I was not going to talk about it, but that's okay. We're good.
Let me tell you how mean my husband is. So at our studio that we had in Albany, we had cameras.
I can shift it. I'm sitting on my feet. Okay.
Yeah, we had cameras that one should be dead then. But we had cameras everywhere. And one day the lights were off in the entry room, I guess. It leads to the outside. And he said, I want you to see something. And he showed me the iPad. And I just said, this man, this woman, I said, oh my gosh, look at this. That's all. Girl. I said, That's what I knew then. I don't know if he's for me or against me. Because I could get up and say, I'm gonna eat healthy today. I'm not gonna eat meat this week and everything. Right. Girl, he'll come back with a big plate of grits, eggs, turkey bacon,
right,
and say, "Here, baby, this is for you." And I'll just be like, I can't say no.
Right.
Well, give it here.
Someone's serving you. So
exactly.
It's the gesture that you're saying yes to. It just comes with a lot of calories, but it's the gesture that you're saying yes to.
Oh my!
So, I get it. So I guess that's our show for tonight. We'll wrap it up and then we'll come back.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Phoebe,
and I'm Stephanie.
PS with Phoebe and Stephanie. You guys, we have a lot of fun stuff coming up this week. We'll be going live more often. And we hope that you tune in and watch us. Thank you.
Have a good night.